Here Comes the Swarm is basically a really promising survival RTS where you're defending against massive bug invasions. It seems a bit like They Are Billions, but with its own spin on things. The game's setup is you're trying to reclaim a planet from these insect creatures that move in huge groups, and you need to build up settlements while holding off their attacks. Now what makes it interesting is that it mixes the usual base defense stuff with some city builder mechanics, and the game also lets you pause whenever you want, which is great in these games that can very much be stressful. So the basic game loop works like this. You begin with a small group of units and a basic settlement. You need to gather resources like wood, food, propane gas, and these blood ruby crystal things. The twist here is that everything needs to be connected by roads, kind of like an anno game actually. Your buildings won't function if they're not hooked up to your road network, and you also need these pylon things to expand your build radius. The resource management is pretty standard but works well enough. You build lumber mills near forests, gas mines on gas vents, butchers for food production. Nothing we haven't seen before. Each building takes up population and resources. The houses provide population but drain food of course, and they actually upgrade themselves automatically if you build churches nearby, which gives you more tax income in the form of blood rubies. It's a nice touch because you don't have to micromanage every single upgrade. Combat wise, you've got different unit types. Knights are your frontline melee guys who can take hits. Arbalists are these ranged units that shoot bolts, and the priests heal your troops, just as a few examples. Your units gain experience as they fight and become veterans, which then makes them stronger. The combat itself feels pretty responsive, and there's some satisfaction to watching your archers mow down bugs or seeing enemies shatter into pieces. You can build walls, gates and defensive towers to protect choke points. The walls snap together nicely, so you don't end up with weird gaps. One of the main features is the deity system. You pick a god at the start who sponsors your civilization, and as you play you unlock talent trees for them. Each deity focuses on different things. One is about defense, another offense, and the third seems economy focused. You also have this Arcanum system, where you find essence nodes during missions. When you capture shrines or open chests, you then get arcana points that let you unlock new bonuses in a talent tree. The game has two main modes. Skirmish is your standard survival setup, where you build up and face waves of enemies. The waves fill up a meter, and when it's full, a big swarm comes at you. Expedition mode is planned as a roguelike variant, where you go through different nodes on a map, face challenges and pick up bonuses or penalties as you go. Now for some potentially rougher edges. The graphics are pretty dated. Everything looks a bit rough and the textures are not great even on max settings. It's clearly designed this way to keep performance stable when there are tons of units on screen, but visually it's pretty basic. The game also seems to ramp up very slowly on the normal difficulty. The early waves don't really threaten you much. If you're decent at these types of games, then you might find yourself way ahead without feeling challenged. There are furthermore some AI quirks. Your ranged units sometimes all target the same enemy at once, instead of spreading the fire, which wastes DPS. It's not game breaking, but it is noticeable. The game definitely does try to differentiate itself from They Are Billions with the building upgrade system, the deity powers, and apparently there are god abilities coming that let you call down big explosions or beams to wipe out swarms. That stuff is not in the demo yet, but it could add some cool moments when it's implemented. If you like this type of game and don't mind the rough presentation, then there is enough here to mess around with. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.